Hey y'all, it's Asha Sarish, your favorite life coach, content strategist, and event curator, back with another review. We're reviewing Love is Blind season 7, and spoiler alert because we're about to get into the next couple, and it's kind of an extension from the last video, so stay tuned. This couple is Leo and Brittany, and they actually did get engaged and went through the whole process, but the show did not end up following their journey, and I'll get into why. Like I said in the previous video, Leo had two connections, Hannah and Brittany. And this man did not let go of either of these connections through the whole thing. Like there was maybe once a time where he said Hannah was his number one, and then when he felt like he had a little bit more connection with Brittany, he was like, "You both are my number one." He kept it going until the very end. He did not let either one of them know that, you know, I'm going to go ahead and make this decision. He wanted to ask both of them about their rings, what type of rings they wanted. He wanted to ask both of them or tell both of them he loved them. Like he's like, I said I was going to either tell you both or neither one of you. So let me tell you what I feel about Leo. Let's get into the fun facts first. Leo is 31. He's an art dealer. He's an Aries. And a little bit about him. Successful and sophisticated Leo spends his days running his family's growing art dealing business. But when he clocks out of work, Leo likes to get in touch with his spiritual side. He's really into yoga and meditating. And it goes on. And this is a shock to me because I personally did not get that spiritual energy from Leo. Um, I feel like his whole personality was the fact that he has money. Everything that he talked about, how he introduced himself, how he led, was with the fact that he's wealthy. He's always had money. He comes from money. He's got that old money. He's an art dealer because he took over his family business when his relatives passed away and left it to him. He grew up in going to country clubs and playing competitive tennis and all of these things. So I see that he had some decent qualities about himself, but he led with the fact that he's always had money. Like that was his personality. Brittany is 33. She's an esthetician and she's a Cancer. It says she regularly collects garbage with her Baltimore based beach cleanup organization. They've collected over 10,000 pounds so far. And she says she has little to no patience for dating trash men. Instead, this esthetician and environmentalist is drawn to guys who are just as adventurous as she is, which has led her to date a rock star. She talked a lot about how she normally dates men of status, like entertainers, athletes, and she's usually able to seduce them with her eyes and her beauty and her charm. And that was her superpower that was stripped of her being in the pods. She really just had to focus on her personality and allowing her intellect and the things that she offers shine. And she actually did want someone who was able to see more into her depth and not see her as just a pretty face. And she had a little bit of trauma that came up during the process of dating men that have so many different options and being pit against women. So when her and Hannah were both put in this position of Leo's number ones, it triggered her, and it didn't make her feel good. It didn't make her feel chosen. It didn't make her feel um, that she was his number one and only, and he wasn't being upfront with her. So I I personally feel like if Leo would have made the decision to put Brittany as his number one a lot earlier in the process, that they could have possibly been a little bit more successful than they were. I think that it was just so it was so draining to be in that little love triangle that by the end of the situation, it was just like it didn't even feel right. Like she felt like that was something that will probably always be a part of her experience. Like even if he did choose her and they got married and had children and grandchildren, she would always remember how she really wasn't ever his number one choice or his only choice at that time. And what I'll say about this guy, Leo, got to bring up this picture again because, again, he had these connections through the whole process. And the moment that Hannah decided to go ahead and choose Nick and she came to tell Leo, Leo had a full on meltdown. And when he did that, all I could think of was this man is exhibiting narcissistic behavior. Maybe he's not a narcissist. I can't diagnose him, but he was definitely giving narcissism. And he was definitely manipulating the situation. He spazzed out because he felt like he I think it was a blow to his ego that he wasn't the one that was breaking it off with one of these ladies. Somebody was actually breaking it off with him, taking away his choice. And it was just really, I don't want to say disgusting, but it was really cringy to watch him yell at Hannah and break her down to tears and try to manipulate her into thinking that she made her decision to be with Nick based off of the fact that he came to her and expressed himself to her before he had a chance to, when he had plenty of chances to. And then he told Hannah that, I wanted to date you first. I wanted to see you first before I saw Brittany and da 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 da, and all of this mess. So I was going to be so mad at Hannah if she would have changed her mind and broke Nick's heart to go back with Leo after he had this meltdown. But luckily, she was a smart girl and she saw the BS and she still decided to stay with Nick. And she gave Brittany a warning. She didn't try to make the decision for her like other women did to her about Nick. She just said, I just want to be transparent about what happened. This was my experience with him. If you still want to choose him, that's your business. But this is what happened. So when when Hannah decided to have a conversation with Leo one more time after she said that she decided to stick with Nick, he tries to make it seem like, oh yeah, well, I think that you and Nick will be a great couple. Like he's the best guy for you. And she's like, I know. And he's like, yeah, and you got your person and I have mine, talking about Brittany as if he just knew all along that Brittany was his number one choice and this was a mutual decision between him and Hannah. It was just so cringy the way he was doing that. But ultimately, Hannah gave Brittany the information. She said, make your own decision. Leo decides that Brittany is his choice. He decides to propose to her. And she read him this letter that she wrote as if she was really knowing her worth in that moment, that like, even though I want this, I've been wanting this, you've shown me who you are and it's a no for me. That's what it was giving. But then when he proposed to her, she said yes. And I knew she was going to say yes. I don't know if she said yes because she wanted to see this process through, if she wanted to get more screen time, or if she really felt like this was her one and only chance to get with this person that she's been wanting to choose her. To be honest, she's been openly saying that she kind of wants to be a trophy wife and wants to be able to benefit from having a man that takes care of her, which no shame in your game, girl, if that's what you want. Um, and since he leads with money and he make it seem like, he got that art dealer money, he got that old money, I feel like that influenced her decision as well. She wanted to see what she can get out of it. And when they met, I don't feel like the emotional connection translated to the physical connection. Of course, he was attracted to her. She's beautiful. But I don't think she was attracted to him. I honestly feel like because his personality is just, I'm this rich kid, I've been rich, I don't think he's probably had that much experience with having to actually pursue women. And maybe maybe he's gotten what he wants based on what he has and not who he is. And I hate that for him because I feel like there's great qualities about him, but he's not leading with those. So when they met in person, they're supposed to go to Mexico to meet the next time. She was like, well, if we don't go to Cabo, can we go to Miami? So she pretty much had already let him know, like, I can already see this ain't gonna work. So let's just cut the shit and just plan a trip to Florida and have us a good time and we could be done with this. And that's what they did. They went to Miami and the Love is Blind show did not continue to follow them on their journey. And we'll see them at the reunion, I guess. But what were your thoughts about this couple? Do you think that they could have made it if they would have focused on each other or if he would have focused on her early on? Do you think it was just like a get what you can get type thing? Or if it was just, because Hannah chose someone else, this is how they ended up? What do y'all think?